Hey everyone, welcome to your timeless bonus reading. And in this reading, we're going to be looking at what is your next 6-month adventure going to look like. Now, it is a general reading, of course, so it's going to be more of a high-level view just to give you an idea of what's coming your way over the next 6 months. Regardless of when you come across this reading is timeless. If you want more specific information for your life, then I do provide personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. I also provide to the general public on YouTube my monthly by zodiac sign readings. I also do weekly by zodiac element readings as well. So if you're interested in any of those, there are playlist links at the end of this video, so you can check those out. But for this reading, it is a pick a card, so you have 3 options. The first one is going to be a green hot air balloon. Number 2 is the blue hot air balloon, and number 3 will be the red hot air balloon. I'm going to start with the green hot air balloon now. If you want to jump to one of the others, then the timestamps are in the description box below. So let's jump right in. All right, my Pisces, if you chose reading number 1, which is the green hot air balloon, then this is the reading for you. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull one card here from the Enchanted Map Oracle. And that's going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about the energies and the experiences that you're bringing into this first month and what you do with that energy and experience. So we're going to go ahead and give these a good shuffle. And one more time. All right, Creator, what do you want our Pisces to know about that first month, please? Okay, I want that one right off the bat, so we will take that one. I love that gentle gardener. You can see the little fairies out there, and that's card number 2. I'm going to love the higher being looking down upon all that, Mother Earth, watching things grow. So yeah, definitely this is a wonderful message of being gentle with yourself, with everything you were experiencing, not judging yourself so harshly or judging yourself at all for the experiences you had, the emotions you felt, the choices you made. And even if people were blaming you for what they were experiencing and feeling, it's really about, I kind of feel like getting away from everything out in nature, getting out into this special garden place within you to where you can really see what was going on, understanding that everything has a cycle. You know, a garden has a process. There's this seasons, there's this you prepare your garden by getting rid of weeds and tilling the ground and even putting some fertilizer on there, like manure, things like that. And one of the things, I think it was Colette Baron-Reid, I heard her say, it's like all that stuff that happens in your life that you feel so bad, that feels like it's manure, that's for your garden. It helps, you grow, it helps your seeds grow. So putting that manure, in that soil, getting it all ready, and then you plant your seeds. You keep making sure there's water, it's getting sunshine, the natural process of growth happens. You de-weed and keep, bugs and the rodents and stuff that eat it, out of your garden, and it just grows, and then it gets to be big enough, and then there's fruit. You pick the fruit, and depending on the type of plant it is, like if it's corn, that corn stalk no longer, it's not going to grow corn the next year on that stalk, it withers and it dies, and so you start the process over. You take all that stuff out, and you till the ground, you give it the fertilizer, and then you plant seeds. And so that's the whole process that's happening. And when you realize that there is a process, that all that time that it takes, it's about being patient with it, watching things grow, doing what you can in the moment with where you're at in that growth process. You don't till the ground again while the seeds are still there. You wait till after the harvest for that. So there's timing for everything, and realizing that, then it allows you to see that this whole process is happening for you and it's not happening to you. And then you just become more gentle with yourself, which in turn changes your whole presence to the outward world as well, and you're more gentle with the outward world. Because you don't see the world as it is, you see the world as you are. So if the world seems chaotic, then we can look within us to see what's growing in our garden, right? So it talks about be your own person, be a conscious co-creator. So the gentle gardener is visiting you at this moment in your life to remind you that your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs create the reality of your experience. She is, so this gentle gardener up here, she is the embodiment of the energy within you that is sent out into the field of co-creation and ensures that all that you are is reflected in the world of form. So are you aware of your thoughts? What is their quality? Believe in limitless possibility and you will see miracles unfold. The gentle gardener guarantees the integrity of everything you send out into the world. So stay positive and expect a wondrous return. Your garden is abundant with beauty. So very much an encouragement here. And then just like I mentioned, looking at your own garden, seeing what's growing in there. What are your thoughts? What's the quality of those thoughts? Is it what you're wanting to grow? You know, are the seeds that you planted what you wanted? You know, because you can always switch those out anytime you want, because it is your garden, right? Next, we're going to pull some cards here from the Light Seers deck, and we're just going to find out more information about what the Creator wants you to know about this first month. All right, Creator, what do you want our Pisces to know about that first month, please? Okay. What else? Okay. And specifically that one. All right, anything else, please? Okay, that one. And that one. And that is it. Okay. So you got the King of Swords. So swords are all about your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitudes, and you know, your mental mind. So this is, you know, definitely, like it was talking about, what thoughts do you have? And the King of Swords is the master of their thoughts. And this is about being open to hearing messages and open to new thoughts. Because you can see here that you've got a crow, you've got a dragonfly, you've got a bat, you've got an owl. So you've got all these types of thoughts, all these types of messages that are coming through to you and for you during this month. And it's also just a reiteration to what it was talking about, being aware of what your thoughts are. Because what masters, what the King of Swords, you know, he's the one that masters the brain and the thoughts and that mind, how he does that. And that's, you know, a king, whether you're male, female, or however you identify, you know, the cards don't have a gender attached to it. They just have an energy attached to it. So this kingly, masculine, mindful energy, how they balance their thought is by connecting to their emotions. And they really come to this balance. They get totally, where they're not totally absorbed in their head. They realize that when you're, you know, out of balance and totally in your mind without having your heart involved, then decisions that are made that may seem logical actually end up hurting yourself and others, because sometimes the logical choice isn't the compassionate choice, you know. And with this gentle gardener, you know, it's about being gentle. I mean, you can be blunt and honest, you know, it's like a Vulcan versus, you know, the human side of Spock. You know, you can be totally burp, 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 you know, this is what needs to happen, but the human side might be like, well, I know that's the most logical choice, but this is what we want to do because it's the more loving choice. All right, you have the Six of Cups, and cups are all about the emotions. And these are all, it's kind of like being nostalgic, looking back over your life, seeing all the seeds that you planted, all the emotions that you felt are what all these little cups are. So it's a time of looking back to on what you felt throughout this time. And it's not like I mentioned before, it's not a judgmental reflection. It's just a kind of this point in time check to see, and really what I'm feeling is it's about these seeds. I've always planted these same seeds, and I've always gotten that vegetable or that fruit in my life. And do I want more of that, or do I want to try something new? And you're at this point where you're ready to try new things, even if it's like, I see this garden with, you have several rows of things and fruits of your life, right? Different types of vegetables. Like right now, it's like maybe it's all tomato plants, and you're like, this season I'm going to do half tomato and then do a line of cucumber and one of carrots, and so you're really at this place in your life where you're ready to try some new things because it's like I've always done that, and I'm kind of getting stagnant in my emotions, and I want to try new things. So I really feel that, this reflection on that. And then you have the King of Swords, now you have the King of Cups. So definitely, cups are all about the emotions, all about, again, balancing. You can see here that he has a crown on his head. So how the King of Cups balances being too emotional is to also balance that with thought and belief. So you've got both sides here. So it's definitely this message of balance in your heart and your mind. Yeah, because here you have Ace of Swords. So you had King of Swords and then a cup, and then you have King of Cups and a sword, and this is all about new thought, new belief. You can see, again, this repetitive going up the stairs, and you're ready to go to a new level and to a different floor of your experience. And there's this bright light that's shining, that's showing that enlightenment, shining light on things that, especially in the past here, that you may have kind of smoothed over. And you're ready to start looking at those things, some weeds that have been growing that you're like, I'll get to it. Now it's turned into a tree, in your garden. And you're like, I think I'm going to go take a look at that. And sometimes what we think is a weed actually turns into be, maybe that is a fruit tree that you're like, oh my gosh, look what I gleaned from having that thing happen in my life that I felt I wanted to remove, but it maintained and stayed in my life. And now it's turned into something beyond what I thought it was going to be. So sometimes the circumstances and experiences we go through end up being something more for us. And especially when this transition of thought that's happening, that these natural cycles are happening for me, not to me, that change of thought and that change of perspective, which is coming here with this Ace of Swords, is allowing you to see like, oh wow, that's not something that I want to get rid of. Look, it's an apple tree, and here I thought this was just a bad weed. So it's actually bringing fruit and something that is good for you. Yep. And you get the Page of Wands here. So this is all about your drive, your ambition, your spark. And that makes total sense with this feeling of stagnancy and that you're wanting to try new things. So you're going to move your energy from investing in things that no longer serve you and that are that you're passionate about, and you're going to redistribute that into something that you do want to focus on this new thing. So if you're holding back out of fear of, it's normal for our human side of us to fear change, right? But this is all about, yes, you can make that leap because there's not a wrong choice. Still keep as many rows as tomatoes as you want, but at least try one new line of some other thing in your life, even if it just feels like this much. For this season, try that much. And then maybe you do 2 lines next time. And then you're like, wow. Then you start getting inventive and start doing different ones because you see that, You get to choose what anything means about you in your life, and it's your adventure. It's your garden. You get to plant what you want. Even if other people are like, well, wait a minute, I need you to plant that because I like that. It's like, well, you go grow that in your garden. I'm going to grow this in mine. All right, and then we're going to move on to the next 2 months. And for that, we're going to pull a card here from the Art of Manifestation Oracle and see what the Creator wants you to know about these next 2 months. All right, Creator, what do you want our Pisces to know about the next 2 months after that, please? Okay, I really feel like this one is speaking to us, so we will pull that one. Yep, it says, let go gracefully. And I'll let you see that, and then I'll read it. So, something in your life is calling for you to let it go. So let go gracefully. Whatever has taken place in the past, it's time to move forwards, and letting go will make way for the new. Whether it's a person, a situation, an outdated thought, or behavior pattern, this card comes to assure you that new horizons are waiting for you. So you can't make that up. So definitely what we're talking about here about moving into something new, letting go gracefully of these, things that no longer serve you. Letting, like I said, as much of it go as you can during these 2 months is when you do that. And then because you're, taking part of your garden and reserving it for new things, then you have the space for new things to grow. We're going to pull some additional cards here from this Everyday Tarot. And we're going to see what else the Creator would like you to know about these next 2 months. And one more time. All right, Creator, what else do you want Pisces to know about the following 2 months here? Okay, I feel like that one, and that one. Okay, what else? Okay, anything else? All right, and final pass. Anything else? Okay, that one. Yep, so you got the Page of Wands again, which is right here. So you're really taking that energy, that excitement, because you, during this month is when you make a decision. I want to try something new, I'm going to do it. And you start making the plans. And so that energy and that excitement is building up to where you're not like waking up going, I got to wake up. It's like you wake up going, I can't wait to work on that today. I can't wait to, research that or take another step towards that thing that I want to bring into my garden. Here you have the Ace of Pentacles. So this is new seeds, new things coming in. Yeah, and actually in this deck here, it's actually holding a seed ready to be planted. So this is the new seeds that you're getting. So during that 2 months, you do have you obtain the beginnings of it to be planted. So it's so perfect for it. And then you have the Three of Cups. And for me, this is a special meaning from the spirit world for me, which is represents that big community of support we have on the other side. The Creator, Spirit, the Holy Spirit, whatever your faith is in that, your guardian angels and spirit guides, your loved ones who are on the other side, your ancestors, just the whole myriad of beings of unconditional love and light are bringing their support. And this is them saying, we're here for you. We're there backing up, and we're, like it talked about here, they're listening to your desires, they're listening to what you want, and they're helping bring that about. So whatever you're focusing on is going to grow. And if you have any questions, they are there for you. So all you have to do is, kind of get out into nature, get away from things, get quiet, and focus on the vibration of unconditional love. And that's the frequency at which they speak. So they're always hearing you, but to hear them, you just focus on that higher frequency of unconditional love, and then you can start to hear messages from them really clear. And if you're uncertain of different steps to take, if you just ask them to show you signs, give you synchronicities, give you knowledge, information, whatever, it's going to come across your path, because they, like I said, they're always listening and they're more than willing to help, but they're not going to mess with your free will. So if you don't ask them, they don't, interfere and, give you information. They're like, you wanted to do it on your own. You kind of have the little kid that's coloring, is what I'm seeing in my mind. If someone goes, well, you need to let me do it. It's almost like, what was his name? I forget. It's like Stewart from, I think it was Mad TV or somebody. Let me do it. So that's the attitude we have until we're like, hey, can you help me with this? And they're like, yes, absolutely. What do you need? So they're more than willing to do that. And here you have the Hierophant, which is pretty cool that it comes up next to this Three of Cups, because what the Hierophant represents can be spiritual teachers, can be spiritual knowledge and information, and that type of thing. But it also carries a very weighty energy to it, because what the Hierophant does, where the Emperor before this card has this, it's like society telling you what you should do and need to do and supposed to do and have to do. It's all these rules that it puts down on our outside living. The Hierophant comes next and does that to our spiritual life. And that's, I'm not, dissing organized religions at all, because they're such a beautiful part of our journey. But they do give us rules and laws and try to put structure around how you express your spiritual relationship. So, this is definitely something that you change and give yourself more freedom to communicate with the other side, because you may have been taught, no, you only, can talk, through this person to the Creator, or you don't only talk to Creator. You can't talk to your loved ones. You can't talk to your angels. All that, it's silent. It's like, so you start to learn and expand your spiritual beliefs. You stop limiting yourself in that, and you start expanding your communication more to the other side. It becomes less of a structured, relationship with, with all these rules attached to it, to this deep best friendship where you can be yourself, and you come up with your own nickname for each other. It's this close relationship you have, not just this, you go to church and this is when you talk to the Supreme God. Now go home and he's watching you. It's like, no, it's that feeling of always being loved, always around you, always paying attention to you, always communicating with you. So it's not just a one-time meeting once a week, or once a year at Christmas or Thanksgiving. It's about a daily interaction with the Creator, with that whole posse of beings of unconditional love and light. Yeah. I had a feeling this was going to come up. So Knight of Pentacles is so much this garden experience, because it's the only knight out of all four that is slow-paced. The pentacles are on the outside. In fact, in this deck, it shows like a field, and they're out, walking, and he's off of his horse barefoot, and they're watching the seeds and everything grow. So, this is definitely what that represents. I wonder if I can show it to you real quick, because it's so, I want to show you that one too. It's such a visual picture, and we're such visual, individuals that, it's just an amazing thing to see. So when I talked about the Ace of Pentacles, here, being this, here's that seed ready to be planted, and here's the Knight of Pentacles, walking out in the field. In fact, I'm going to put these just up here, because they're such a representation of that whole journey there. In fact, I'm going to kind of just slide them in over here. I've never really done that before, but they definitely wanted to have that visualization for you there. So yeah, definitely that's about, taking the time, letting those grow, letting those seeds grow. You have harvest, different types. You see all the different types of growth and different types of pentacles. So, that really reinforces that message about trying multiple different things now, because you have this new spark for newness and for change. And then we're going to move into the next 2 months. And for that, we're going to pull a card here from the Energy Oracle cards. And see what else the Creator would like you to know. And I know when it comes to new things, if you're like, I know I want to try something new, but I just don't even know what it is. One of the things that helped me, that they're prompting me to mention to you is, ask yourself, how would you want to express the unconditional love within you in your own unique way? Not trying to repeat and try to be like someone else, but how do you want to express that? And that'll give you guidance on which direction to go there. All right, Creator, what do you want Pisces to know about the next 2 months, please? Okay. Cornucopia, and look at all the fruit that's happening there, and that's card number 11. So definitely this is all about fruits and vegetables and harvest and wonderful things coming. So yeah, definitely this is such a strong message for you that, you can't go wrong. There's so many things to choose from. Whatever you put your new mind to with this energy that's coming in, these 2 months you work on planting, and you get this harvest within these 2 months. You start to see the, fruit starting to show up. So you start to see the growth. You're like, oh look, there's a little tiny tomato, or look, there's a little tiny apple, and it's starting to grow. So you're starting to see things come to fruition. Oh yeah, because this is called wishes fulfilled. Excuse me. So an abundant harvest and great blessings are waiting for you, and you may even find all of your wishes fulfilled. This cornucopia of gifts from the universe can come in the form of financial riches, job fulfillment, romantic love, or D, all of the above. When you receive the cornucopia upright, you know that you've done important work and it's about to pay off. The seeds you've planted, can't make this up, in your energy and in your life are ready to be harvested in some significant ways. So get ready, for a great feast of abundant value is being prepared for you now, and Spirit is applauding you for all your effort. You just can't make it up. You just can't make it up. So yeah, I love using all sorts of different decks because it makes it very clear that there's a trend and a message when it comes in from all these different ones. We're going to pull some more cards here from the Everyday Tarot and see what else the Creator wants you to know about this very fruitful month, evidently. It's an exciting time. So definitely worth the work that you're gonna put in and do with leaving things behind and planting new seeds and putting in that, because it is work in the beginning, isn't it, to till the ground and get the weeds and that's like the most one of the most important times, or the most time you invest a lot of energy. Harvesting things sometimes takes a lot of energy, but really out of them at all, that's the most time that takes the most energy, right? All right, Creator, what else do you want our Pisces to know about these 2 months, please? Okay, I feel like that one. Oh, and these 3 and that one. Okay. And that one. So you got justice here, so balancing definitely the physical world and the spiritual world. You see how it's equally balanced there. And so this is like reaping what you sow as well. It's very much a karmic type of thing. So whatever you've been investing in is what unfolds, because, that is what these represent here too. And it can represent, the balance, again, between heart and mind that it mentioned here about spirit and physical world too. So, you're having this wonderful, like it mentioned here, the cornucopia of, emotional fulfillments coming, mental fulfillments coming, spiritual fulfillments coming. So just a real balance. 11 is like this balancing number, right? Here's the Knight of Wands. So, this Page of Wands, and, you got the Page of Wands twice here. Now you have the Knight of Wands, so all that fiery energy that you had, you definitely putting it into action, and it's flowing out. And so, the Knights, like the Knight of Pentacles, is about slow movement, watching things grow. This Knight of Wands, especially because it's such fiery energy, is about things moving fast, things happening fast during those 2 months. You've got the Two of Swords here. And I love this because this is also kind of about balancing quite a bit, because you have two choices to make. You have your your eyes bound here where you can't see. Here's the moon and the waters, and so this is like, get out of your mind and trust your gut and trust your heart when it comes up to decisions that need to be made there. I don't think, did I? Yeah, I did read from the cornucopia here, because I was looking at here. See, this is number 2, but in Roman numerals it's 11 and 11 here. So there's choices to be made. And an amazing thing about abundance is that we get to choose what any moment means. And we can go by our mind and go, well, our ego says this is what success and abundance means and is. And it'll judge the heck out of all the things that we do, usually finding them lacking. And then when we go into our heart and connect to our higher self, the higher realm, with that 3 cups, and we realize we have everything we need inside of us because we're unconditionally loved by the creator of all things and that whole large group of, beings of unconditional love and light, everything else becomes extra. And when you make that flip, within it, and we don't look at it by our mind, but we look at it by that emotional love that we have, then our life does even more so become this cornucopia of, we're like, look at all the blessings I had, that I was only focusing on my lack, not focusing on everything I did have. And so now with that switch, you really start to see, wow, I am blessed. I have so much going on in my life. Because here's the 9 of Swords. These are all the thoughts and beliefs, all the shoulds, the supposed to be's, the mind again. And so when we focus in on all the supposed to be's and those shoulds and everything I was talking about, we lose sleep. We have nightmares. We have insomnia. Our mind is continually racing out of fear, trying to control everything that's outside of our control. And so what's great is that this is a point in time here where you're growing weary, because the 10 of Swords is when you're just totally exhausted by trying to fulfill all these expectations, all that supposed to, should, need to, have to's that we're told have to happen in order for us to be lovable, acceptable, successful. And so you're ready to let go of them. And I really feel it during this month is when you do that, because you don't have to experience the 10 of Swords to opt out of it. You can wait till you're ultimately exhausted, face down, because the 10 of Swords usually has them face down, face planted with all the swords stuck in their back. They're not dead, they're just ultimately exhausted. And the 10 is the ending, ready for the new beginning. So you're ready for it now, though. You don't have to wait for that. Excuse me. And you got the Hanged Man. So this is about, it has some to do with patience, because wisdom comes as you wait and see things. But what I really love about this card is it represents seeing things from a higher perspective. You have tied yourself from the branch on the tree. You haven't, been tied there. This isn't any kind of punishment or anything like that. And you can see the halo around his head represents the new viewpoint, the new information, the new knowledge that he is experiencing, because he's seeing things from our heavenly point of view, from our higher self point of view, which, like I said, the love that we experience from a loving, unconditioned loving point of view is what can eradicate all this angst around that Nine of Swords. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles, which this is very much about nurturing yourself and about connecting to nature. So, definitely, like, this is Mother Nature here, seeing things from that higher point of view. Fruit, bearing fruit, the feminine energy in this, she's got all this wonderful energy around, the emotions. And so this is like emotional fulfillment, and just allowing, it's very much Mother Nurture, Mother Nature, like this Garden card here. Kind of like the Empress, birth of new things, flooding of new things, just so much happening. Yeah, and then where you had the King of Swords here, you have the Queen of Swords. So again, another beautiful balancing between mind and emotion. She's sitting on the cups, which is the emotions. And so she's balancing that. So she has her beliefs, but she also has her arm extended there, which means she's open to new thoughts, new beliefs, new things coming in, balance between mind and heart. And then you have the Page of Cups. So Page of Wands with new energy coming in, doing all this. Page of Cups is the new emotions, messages of love, messages of emotions coming in. So really, again, experiencing life in a whole new way. You've got swords and cups right next to each other again, which is totally, balancing that, experiencing new thoughts, which you experience new emotions, and new emotions, you experience new thoughts. There's this beautiful cohesion and relationship we have between the two. And I love, keep on forgetting her last name, but it's Dr. Jill. She has this book, Whole Brain Living, which talks about that we aren't thinking beings who feel, we're feeling beings who think. Because at our core, the first part of our brain that develops is our emotions. And then on the outside of our brain is when we start having thoughts and beliefs and stuff. So at our core, we are these emotional beings, but there's such this tight relationship between emotions and thought and belief that, play off each other, that it's an important awareness of that. So if you feel so inclined, it's a beautiful book. Ebook is pretty cheap too. So if you have that, I just really feel it's such a message of balancing between thought and feeling. It can be a really good read for you. The Whole Brain Living by Dr. Jill. And then we're going to move into the final month here. So on this last 1 month, this is going to be a culmination of where you end up at the end of this 6 months and where you're leading into your next adventure, because yes, adventures never end for us. Even when this human character we're playing has its death scene in this drama, the actor that we are behind all this continues on forever and ever onto more and more adventures. So we're going to pull one card here from the Secret Language of Light and say, Creator, what would you like our Pisces to know about this, please? Okay, there we go. Here's your final message for this reading. You've got Authentic Truth, number 4. That's a beautiful card there. And we will read from the book and see what messages there are for you here. Discover your truth and let others find theirs. That's so, you get to put what's in your garden and discover what you want to grow in your garden, and you let other people plant their own garden. So you come back to your, minding your own garden and letting everyone else mind their own. It says the truth will set you free. So long as you recognize there is more than one truth and that the answers you seek exist beyond the beliefs you hold now. There are many truths in this world. You don't have to believe them all. Just focus on what resonates with you. And if you must convince yourself of your beliefs, they are not your truth. Your truth will always fulfill and satisfy. It is unconditional, meaning conditions don't have to change for you to live and feel your truth. There is no right or wrong, but there is cause and effect, or action and reaction. Master yourself, not someone else's processes. Whew, yeah, relief. So when you change your beliefs, your life changes to match it. To do this, you must be aware of how you feel and practice focusing on what makes your heart sing, not shrink. When you align with your truth, you will flow, feel excited, and believe an authentic life is possible. If it's not your truth, you will resist and find it hard to commit and feel indecisive. So, yeah, like we're talking about, I've been growing these tomatoes for as long as you can remember because that's what you were told you were supposed to grow, and now you're ready to discover what is it that you want to grow in your life. What is your truth you want to grow in your life? These do come with these cards in inspired reflections and actions, and there's 3 of them, and I'll read all 3, and whatever resonates with you, you can look at during this 6-month adventure. And number 1 is be aware of your feelings and notice how it feels to be angry, loving, or hurt. Number 2, as you move through your day, notice what gives you a glow of happiness. And number 3, do things that feel truthful. If there is something you don't want to do and you must do it, find a way to connect it to your truth. Find a way that doesn't feel like a compromise. If you're not okay with the compromise, it may breed resentment and become a poison to you. Poison ivy in your garden, no! And then lastly, there's also journal work. If you feel so inclined, it says, picture yourself living your truth and not compromising. Write down 3 words that represent your truth and another 3 words that represent freedom. So yeah, so definitely a beautiful 6-month adventure in gardening. Looking in your inner garden, making changes, making it be how you want it to be, what makes your heart sing. This Page of Wands is about that passion, that new passion, that renewed passion in your life, because you're letting go gracefully of those things that no longer are fulfilling you, those things that were supposed to but haven't, and you're doing this inner search to truly find out what you want to do so you can live your authentic truth in your beautiful, beautiful garden. But I love this for you, and just know as you go through this 6-month adventure that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. So have an amazing 6-month adventure, and we will talk to you soon. You take care now. All right, my Pisces, if you chose reading number 2, which is the blue hot air balloon, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Enchanted Map Oracle. And this is going to represent your first month, what the Creator wants you to know about the energies and experiences that you're bringing in to your first month here and what you're going to do with those during that first 1 month there. So let's give these a good shuffle. And we'll see what your first message is. All right, Creator, what do you want our Pisces to know about their first month, please? Okay. Okay, we actually get 2 of them here, so we will use them both. And yeah, you've got listening. Beautiful, beautiful elephant here with all those melodies, and that's 53, which 5 and 3 is 8. And I mentioned that because you got number 44, which also is an 8, but this is your strength. And so I love seeing her hold up a little world with a little tree on there. So definitely you're coming into this month with a very strong support, a very inner strength. And what I'm feeling a lot is, so you have all this energy coming in, all these experiences, all these things you went through, and you're actually, this is almost a surprise to say, you have this strength, because you almost feel exhausted, I think. You feel this, you've gone through so much, your energy you almost feel is depleted, because you have not only survived through a lot of things that have happened to you, and this is a general reading, so it varies by person, but I feel like a lot of stuff over the last 5 months, but even like extreme things in the last 5 months, but the last 18 months, of course, with everything going on in the world, that makes sense. But that there's just been so many challenges, but they really came to a climax during these last 5 months. And now here you are kind of walking in after being, in the desert, kind of like for, you've been missing for 18 months, and then you walk in and you're dusty and sunburned and chapped lips and exhausted, and you had enough nutrition just to survive, and so you're like skin and bones ready to drop, and then you come into there and they're like, oh my god, you're so strong, and you're like, I don't feel strong, and you're like, well, you will, because as you look back over this time frame during this month, you're going to do a lot of reflection to see just how strong you have become because of everything that you've gone through. And it's like it's a recuperation month where you're a lot of less activity than previous months, and it's a time for you to really listen here. And that's where this listening comes in, is listening to the tune of the song that's playing within you. These last 18 months have really shown you the song that you want to sing. They always say everyone has a song in their heart, and don't die without singing your song, and this is kind of like that feel to it. It's like you didn't die, so now you are ready it's like you have the bravery now and the courage and the strength to sing your song, to be able to share your heart, share what you want with your life. It's almost like, kind of what happens with near-death experiences and stuff. It's like the things you took for granted, it brings so much clarity too about the things that you're investing energy in that don't matter to you. And so just this huge clarity that comes during this month about rearranging your life, or I'm not going to invest my energy and my time and my love into these things because they're not going to matter to me. What's going to matter to me when I'm on my deathbed, when I'm moving into the next adventure that I'm going to go into after this character I'm playing passes away. What do I want to have experienced? What do I want to have sung? What do I want to have more of? Usually it's not more money, more work, and all that. It's like what matters most, and that's what you're going to be having really come into focus during this month. Let's read from the book too to see what other messages there are here for you. So for the Strength card, it says your true strength comes not from self-reliance alone, but from a sincere faith in a higher power. Beautiful. So the strength to accomplish even the most daunting tasks is yours at this time. And I feel that's what you have been, and those, for majority of you, those things have ended for you. It says you can connect with and channel the power of the universe, of the Creator. The Strength card indicates that your ideas are being tested and refined, and your relationships are being deepened. No matter what happened or what happened, nothing can move you off the course of your evolution. As the potency of your connections becomes more obvious, you're able to harness the creative energies that are available to you. Have courage and dive in, for magic is in the process of finding a form to take. When you remember that real strength comes from a combination of your efforts and reliance on a higher power working through you, all is possible. You can do anything now. Yep. So perfect. And then number 53 for listening. An open heart will hear the message. So when this card appears, you're being reminded that there's a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to what is not being said at the moment, for the deeper message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. So this is perfect because, the strength card mentions it's not just you alone that gets you through things. It's connecting to your higher power. And this listening is listening to your higher power. So whether you believe in the creator of all things, Spirit, Holy Spirit, whatever your faith is, you can connect to them, to your guardian angels and angels, your spirit guides, your loved ones on the other side, your ancestors, unicorns and fairies, and whatever else you believe to be your higher power. This is saying you're able to connect and listen. And I really love the other message that it was saying is that in listening to their perception from their higher viewpoint, you're going to see the circumstances you went through in a whole different light. We're going to get some clarification on this too. We're going to pull some cards here from the Light Seers Tarot, and let's see what validation or confirmation or new information the Creator would like you to know about your first month. All right, Creator, what else do you want our Pisces to know about their first month, please? What else, please? All right, anything else? Last pass. Okay. Yep, so you got the Emperor here. What the Emperor represents is all the restrictions that you have had on your life. The Emperor, comes through the major arcana, and it represents like society, all the rules, all the shoulds, supposed tos, could be's, needs to's, have to's, all those things that constrict and restrict us as we, grow older and try to fit us in to what's acceptable. And we fear breaking the rules of the Emperor because there becomes punishment, when that happens. And because we fear being rejected and being ostracized and dying alone in the wilderness, all alone of starvation, because that's the story our fear ego tells us is what happens if you don't obey. Because all those things are created through the good girl, good boy, bad boy, whatever we experience growing up. The praise and punishment from all different directions is what makes us fear not, fearing being the bad boy or the bad girl or whatever you identify as, because it's like, that means being rejected. And as children, we don't feel that confidence that we can survive on our own. We need those adults in our lives to make sure we have food and shelter and water, all the things to survive. But we don't go through this freedom, type of ritual or event in our lives like we used to. A lot of times back in the day, when we were more tribal, there would be events where a child would be, taken out either on a hunt or, some sort of ritual event where they would come back as an adult, and not only would they feel different, everyone in the village or tribe would treat them different. We don't have that a whole lot anymore, so we the line is blurred, and we kind of keep that fear from our childhood way into our adulthood these days, where when we're able to face that and even have this little ritual that we do to release ourselves from childhood and go, you know what? I am an adult. I can take care of myself. I get to decide what my life means anymore. And I'm going to become my own emperor of my own life instead of taking in all those things from the outside. And this is where that strength comes, right? Because you realize all those things that you did and went through and felt were things that you were told from the outside. This is what you should believe. This is shoulds and supposed tos and have tos and need tos, and they're contradictory and so many, and it's confusing and exhausting. And you come back and you're like, okay, who do I want to be? I get to decide now. So it's very much this freedom that comes. Yeah, because here's the Hierophant, which comes right after the Emperor, number 4 and number 5. And this represents, where the Emperor's society, making all these rules for our external actions. The Hierophant comes along, and that's represents the bishop or an organized religion. And I'm not dissing organized religions or the bishop or anything like that. They all have a special role to play in our adventure. But what happens is our spiritual life that is so expansive, mankind, we get involved and try to put it in a box and have rules and everything around it, like the Emperor does for society. The Hierophant does for our spiritualness. So this huge awareness that comes during this month of freedoms that roll into our spiritual life and into our physical life, that I get to decide what I believe, I get to decide what I do, and what I want to do with my life. So this huge transformational type of energy is coming here. Yeah, because here's the King of Pentacles. And this is, the Pentacles is the outside world. And the King of Pentacles basically has gone from the Ace all the way up to the King. And so he's experienced so much that he understands what it is to truly be successful, what it truly means to be whole and complete. And it's not about the outside stuff, because his whole journey is about finding unconditional love, which I always say is represented by, the dog or wolf here, because, they are unconditionally loving beings, and that's what brings us our comfort and our joy. But this is what's happening here, is you're ready for this transformation into redefining what success means for your life. Yeah, because here's the Queen of Pentacles, which is nurturer. So all about making sure, it's Mother Nurture, Mother Nature. Where this is the mind and the beliefs, our mindsets and things like that, because of the masculine energy. The feminine energy is about our emotions. So this is about the contentment, feeling fruitful and abundant. And it's all because of those mind shifts, that we're talking about here. We see things from a completely different perspective. And we can even put that where they're looking at each other, because, this bond that comes together between the emotions and the mind is so important. And again, actually, I'm going to put it back this way. Because the Emperor, the King, the spiritual and emotional, the Queen. So this is your transformation from being so restrictive into being so free and peaceful. Yeah, there you go. You got the 10 of Pentacles. You got the Queen, the King, and the 10. And this is all about abundance. This is like the legacy card too. Not only do you feel the gratitude that comes from these cards, and the gratitude that comes from this card is, you not only have enough for you and your current generation here, this feeling of abundance, it rolls over into generations that come. This is the Kabbalah, tree of life. And so for me, it represents even your family tree. So there's this legacy that you leave because you impact future generations to come. And I really feel that it comes because you break the chains, you break these cycles that have been repeating year after year after year after year. And, generation after generation after generation after generation after generation. And they continue to go on because children repeat what they're learned, like with the emperor, right? And the Hierophant, it's like, this is what you're supposed to do, and this is how you're supposed to believe. And it just goes, and until someone questions it and has the strength to stand up and say, no, this is who I'm going to be now, that continues to go. And this is that a big message of that you get to be the chain breaker for some important things that not only impact your bloodline going forward for your ancestry, but the people you interact with, it also impacts theirs. So beautiful, beautiful message here for you. Your strength is recognized. With you standing up and doing things, it just creates this ripple effect. Next, we're going to move on to the next 2 months. And what we're going to do is pull a card here from this Art of Manifestation Oracle card, And I'm just going to see what the Creator wants you to know about the next 2 months. But yeah, definitely worth the desert experience that you're coming out of here. Because you really, this month, you just... that self-care, that nutrition, you actually take care of yourself and get yourself re-energized, refocused, and it just, this transformation that happens, this changes your life. Right, Creator, what else do you want Pisces to know about the next 2 months, please? Okay. Any others? Okay, nope. So this is your message, and you got... Restore balance. Number 46, which is 10, which is endings, and then 1 plus 0 is 1, which is new beginnings. So endings and new beginnings for sure. And I'll let you see that, and then I'll read it. So this card calls you to notice what kinds of situations, peoples, and circumstances throw you off balance, and more importantly, what enables you to regain balance and recenter yourself. Noticing heightens your awareness and creates an opportunity for you to become proactive in maintaining your ongoing balance and inner harmony. So this, like I said, this balance is restored. And during this time, these 2 months, is where you learn how you can become proactive in maintaining your ongoing balance and inner harmony. So this is like the initiation of it, and then you learn how to maintain it, which means like walking, like a little toddler trying to walk, they learn, whoa. So you go out of balance and you get back in balance. You get out of balance and you get in balance. Or like learning to ride a bike. It's all about learning the balance, and you learn that by going out of balance. So be very gentle with yourself. And don't judge yourself for when you go out of balance, because you're learning how to maintain that. And you learn that through experience. It's not like the Matrix, where they can download things immediately into your brain and you just know it right away. You learn through experiencing it. And I won't say, making mistakes, but mistakes are such judgmental. You learn through experience. We'll leave it at that. We're going to use these everyday tarot just to get clarification on what the Creator wants you to know about these next 2 months. Okay. What else, please? Okay. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, and this is a beautiful message because what it represents is, and again, this is a 10, so definitely it shows us the ever-changing wheel of endings and new beginnings that are in our life. And this is like this map that we are introduced to and given that tells us that everything happens for a reason and everything unfolds perfectly. Before we come down here, we decide when we're going to be born, when our death scene is for this character that we're going to play, and all these events that happen in between. And we ask for these events to happen because we want to experience things as we go. We are given this free will that when these events come around, we get to decide if we're going to go extreme fear or extreme unconditional love or something in between. And so this balance, like talking about balance, there's this fluctuation that happens, and we get to determine and balance ourselves. If we don't want to feel an extreme, then we can learn how we can have more of a middle, wavy experience than this roller coaster, type of ride with all of that. And I love balance because, here you are on the top of it, and the choice that we have is, as the world turns, we're on the top here, and we can just walk with it and flow with the changes that happen, and life is more calmer and more balanced, right? Because you're balancing on top. But if you refuse and you hold on, then you're like, whoa, and you have to hold on until you come back around again. And with that, usually if you're not flowing and stepping with life, about 25% of it you're okay on top. The rest of it you're holding on for dear life for 75%. So if that's the way your life feels, is like, well, I feel like I'm balanced a quarter of the time, then one of the things that you can do in learning about how to maintain it is how to flow with the changes of life. And one way that I've done that, that's been provided for me anyway in my life, is realizing that everything that happens in my life I've chosen and is happening for me, not happening to me. So some great things that come here. Yep, and then you have the King of Wands. And see, he's got the fire in his hands here. The King of Wands, that's your fire energy, your spirit, your drive, your passion in life. And I look at this too as wands being our spiritual side. And so your higher self is represented by this. So really connecting to your true higher self, like we mentioned in these cards here, is an important piece that helps you restore that balance, because again, you see things from a higher perspective rather than feeling like you're in this lost maze, or you're on this drama train that's out of control and it's going to derail. You realize that the track has been specifically planned, and you've chosen the stops you want to take and get off of the train to experience things, and that it's totally under control. It's not going to derail. You're able to have this balanced approach to life in a different way. And we're going to come back to that one. And you're ready for the next level. The Five of Wands always has like this dual message for me. And one is that, you can look at these as you're moving toward the top, and there's all these, stages that you do to get up to that place, and you're ready to step into this next phase of your life and this next phase of your adventure. It also represents these people aren't fighting, they're training. And so that also, really reverberates this Wheel of Fortune, that everything unfolding, all these people that come into my life that seem to be challenging me, it's just like a fencing match. We're learning and growing how to, interact and have this little imitation, planned, interaction. We might get a little heated and start taking it on personally and start, but when it comes back to it, everything that's happening is happening for us to learn and grow and hone our skills, understand more about who we are, and that totally fits in with that. And it's a 5, which is half of the 10, right? Yep, and you got the Emperor here. So again, the Emperor is showing itself here again, which with it being next to this 5 of Wands, it is a information showing you that, with this balance, that this is not wrong. What the Emperor does, with the Emperor or the Hierophant's role in our life, as I mentioned before, I don't diss them, because that's part of our adventure, part of our journey. We come down here to feel like what it might feel like to be limited, to be unacceptable, to fear being rejected, because on the other side, we're all lovable, we're all acceptable, we're unconditionally loved. We don't even know what love is. We don't even know what feeling restricted is, because everything is unlimited. So when we come down here for our human experience, and we experience what feeling teeny bitty small is, and feeling confined is, like, oh, so experiencing this, we understand what unlimited is, because we've experienced its opposite. It's like breathing air. You don't even realize you're breathing air until you're in the ocean underneath, submerged, and then you're like, you suddenly have a very clear understanding of what air is and the need for it, right? And that's kind of that experience. By experiencing when we don't have air, we understand and appreciate, and air is more fully defined and understandable for us. So that's the message that comes in here. And also with it making itself known, you're also seeing what you're wanting to change and what you're wanting to let go. And that balance comes into play here, where you're like, okay, there are some things that I want to keep and other things that I'm letting go. Yeah. Because here is ultimate exhaustion. All of those, all these swords are your thoughts, beliefs, all the expectations, and you are exhausted. You're just tired of trying to maintain all those, because they just stab you in the back and they disappoint. So he's not dead. He's looking at over there at the sunshine. So he sees something happening. Again, this is a 10. So it's endings and new beginnings, showing you that you're letting go of thoughts that are no longer serving you. And I love this particular deck because they have 4 swords that are a different color, which the 4 of swords is about resting your mind, resting your beliefs, and just taking that time, to let your heart flow. In this deck, they actually show someone in a nest and 4, prongs, and they have this heart string that's wrapped around each one of them. And I love that, because that's what calms the prickiness of the swords. It's like putting a cork on the end of the knife or whatever, the sword. It just becomes a blunt book instead of something that slices. And that's what that unconditional love does, this connection with your higher self here. That's what allows this balance to come in, is unconditional love, connecting to that higher source of who you really are. And then we're going to move into the next 2 months. And for that, we're going to pull a card here from the Energy Oracle. Let's see what the Creator wants you to know about the next 2 months. But I love that restoring the balance and just that awareness that is coming to you through these 2 months. It just, when life happens for you and not to you, it just changes your viewpoint. And again, I love this, that here's your understanding your higher self and connection to the higher realms and higher viewpoints. And then here's the opposite that we came here to experience. So it's that balance of flowing in and out and in and out of that. And understanding that, that's why I came here, is to experience that. So I don't beat myself up. I'm allowing myself to feel these emotions, experience these things, because that allows me to understand me more fully and deeply. So again, for me, not to me. All right, Creator, what do you want Pisces to know about these next 2 months, please? Yeah, it's like, this card is like, we play war, it's not real war. Okay, this is the card right here. Yep, we got contract. Number 6. Look at that. Balance. Balance continues. And we'll read from the book here. Partnership, legal commitment. So this card shows a contract in the background ready to be signed, indicating a committed connection of some sort. This union may be a business deal, the sale of a home, a new job, or even a commitment in marriage. Whatever the connection, this card is more than a casual agreement. It's usually something that requires a document that's binding, at least for the time being. The scales of justice also indicate that if a legal action is underway, it's likely to turn out in your favor. So this card shines a light on potential new opportunities, so remain aware and receptive to what may be coming your way. Now, that, because this is a general reading, that can be, for some of you, if that applies for what's going on in your life. But I really feel, when I read the word contract, I really got this intuitive message about these individuals that are destined to come into our life, this wheel of fortune. We almost have this contract before we come down to say, okay, in this point in my life, I need someone that's going to betray me. Anyone? And people are like, hey, because it's not real, we're playing war, it's not real war. It's like, okay, I'll be the betrayer. And like, all right, great. Thank you. And then at this point in my life, I need someone who is, going to, try to convince me that I'm stupid, and I need to be able to feel a deep anger here. So I need, someone that's going to just be that trigger person for me for this period of my life. And someone's like, all right, I'll do that for you. And so you have these contracts. Now understand also that you have contracts with other people, and for this experience we go through, there's usually a victim, a villain, and a hero, and you're going to play that role, one of those roles. I'm actually all of those roles at one point in time, maybe sometimes all three at once. And you may not even realize, you're like, how can I be a villain? How could anyone think moi, is a villain? And then you get into relationships, and you hear what your exes tell other people about who you were, and you're like, what? But then you also, once you get past, and you're able to see things from this higher perspective, you're like, oh yeah, I could totally see that in their life, this is the role I was playing, and I had no idea, And so this contract is about your awareness of, again, why things unfolded the way they did in this higher perspective as you do some of this, reflection backward. The 6 is reminding me of the 6 of Cups. I'm in this situation where it's about looking back at the emotions you experienced. And when you have this new connection to your higher self, you're able to go back and look at them in ways where you're not emotionally engaged in it in fear anymore. And you can go back in a loving way, and you see what really happened. You see that their actions were not intentional or personal towards you. They were only acting out of fear of losing love, fear of not being lovable or acceptable, fearing rejection. And so they were trying to control things. And it's a lot like when someone's drowning and you happen to be near them and they grab onto you and almost drown you, or you try to rescue them and they hit you because they're panicking. It's that type of situation where you realize, okay, this wasn't personal against me. They were just flipping out in their fearful way, just like I was flipping out in these different parts of my life when I was in fear. And I'm like, okay, I see now. And so that blindfold comes off, and we see things from a higher perspective. And that helps us restore balance in our lives too. It helps us maintain balance as we go forward, because we do see things from that different perspective as new things come in, by understanding how past things, with a new understanding of how past things happened, if that makes sense. We're also going to pull some additional cards here from the Everyday Tarot. And we're going to see what else the Creator wants you to know about these next 2 months. All right, Creator, what else do you want Pisces to know about these next 2 months, please? What else, please? All right, and anything else? And last pass, anything else? Okay. So you got the King of Pentacles again. So King of Pentacles here, King of Pentacles here. So yeah, definitely this gratitude and thankfulness for what you experienced. Seeing things from that whole new perspective just definitely brings you this feeling of abundance in your life. Ten of Pentacles again. So definitely that abundant feeling, this coming to fruition. It's just letting, definitely a re-echoing of these things that were happening here. Yeah, and here you have the Page of Swords, which is new thoughts, new beginnings. He's wielding the Ace of Swords, which helps you cut away those things that no longer serve you. So you are continuing to weed through these beliefs of the past from the Emperor. Again, we never get rid of all of our swords while we still have our human side, because we have that human ego attached. So there's always beliefs and thoughts that are happening that are based on our human experience. And we don't want to get rid of those because it's what we come here to experience. So really, this is about letting go of the attachments, moving those emotions, those blocks in the middle from experiencing our higher unconditional love. We just move it to a different place, like a storehouse that we're going to be taking back with us, because they are so delicious on the other side. These emotions that we bring, these experiences we bring back, everyone loves to look at them. They're like home movies that everyone loves to see. Like, this is what I did while I was on my vacation. Everyone's like, oh my God, let's see those, because they get to feel the emotions along with us and as if they're doing it themselves. So it's a whole new type of show on the other side. And here you have the Queen of Wands. So you have the King of Wands here, and you have the Queen of Wands here. So, with this, the clearing of the Hierophant and seeing and having these beliefs from a higher place, you're really feeling the emotional movement of your spirit, of your higher self, that fiery energy moving, just a confidence and not an arrogance, thinking, that's of the Emperor, of I'm better than you in judgment. This is just knowing who you are and being able just to stand in whatever comes because you know who you are. And you have your familiars here. We talk about all our posse on the other sides. We have them still representing themselves and saying, yep, we're right here with you. You're maintaining this higher spiritual balance as you go into that month. And you have the Seven of Wands here. And what I really love about that, it plays off the Queen of Wands a bit because, this is you. You have your fiery energy. You know who you are. But during this month, you have other people that, in a way, attack your new beliefs, your new thoughts, but they want you to take on their energy as well. And it's like, you don't have to. Like the Five of Wands here is the practicing of the battle. Here it continues and other individuals try to poke and burst your bubble. But because of this awareness of who you are, and the strength that you've had, you can get invited to a battle, but you don't have to accept the invitation. Here you have the King of Cups. So, master of your emotions. This is balancing your mind with your emotions here. And so you have this nice, smooth sailing. And King of Cups for me too represents like Christ energy, unconditional love from the Creator, and it being expressed in your life. Again, the kings are, made it from the ace all the way to the king, and you've mastered, those emotional journeys. So it's really a great card to represent balance in a lot of ways as well, but emotional balance. All right, and then we're going to look at this final month here for you, and this is just where you end up, culmination of what happens with all these experiences, and that's what you are bringing into your next adventure. Yes, because our adventures never ever end. This is a lifetime of adventure, of a lot of mini adventures. And even after our life ends, at least the character that we're playing in this realm has its death scene. The actor, our true self, of course, our higher self, we continue on for eternity on, and just more adventures. Our whole existence is about the adventure of understanding who we are and the Creator understanding who they are, and they experience life through us. And it's just amazing adventure after adventure after adventure. We're just going to pull one card here from the Secret Language of Light. Creator, what do you want our Pisces to know about their final message for those that chose reading number 2, please? Okay. Yep, I think this came up in the last reading too. So authentic truth, number 4. And it totally makes sense for this reading too. I love it. So this is discover your truth and let others find theirs. The truth will set you free so long as you recognize there is more than one truth and that the answers you seek exist beyond the beliefs you hold now. There are many truths in the world, and you don't have to believe them all. Just focus on what resonates with you. If you must convince yourself of your beliefs, they are not your truth. Your truth will always fulfill and satisfy. It is unconditional, meaning conditions don't have to change for you to live and feel your truth. It's pretty deep. There is no right or wrong, but there is cause and effect or action and reaction. Master yourself, not someone else's processes. When you change your beliefs, your life changes to match it. To do this, you must be aware of how you feel and practice focusing on what makes your heart sing, not shrink, right? Makes your heart sing. I love that. When you align with your truth, you will flow, feel excited, and believe an authentic life is possible. It's not your truth. If it is not your truth, you will resist and find it hard to commit and even feel indecisive. Beautiful. And these cards come with inspired reflections and actions. There's 3 of them, and I'll read each to you, and whatever resonates with you, you can put into practice and use during these 6 months. Number 1 is be aware of your feelings. Notice how it feels to be angry, loving, or hurt. And number 2, as you move through your day, notice what gives you a glow of happiness. And number 3, do things that feel truthful. If there is something you don't want to do and you must do it, find a way to connect it to your truth. Find a way that doesn't feel like a compromise. And if you're not okay with the compromise, it may breed resentment and become a poison to you. And then they also offer journal work on here. So if you feel so inclined, it says, picture yourself living your truth and not compromising. Write down 3 words that represent your truth and another 3 words that represent freedom. Excellent. This is going to be an exciting adventure for you. And just know as you go through this that every second of every day, you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. Have an amazing 6-month adventure, and we will talk to you soon. You take care now. All right, my Pisces, if you chose reading number 3, which is the red hot air balloon, then this is the reading for you. And we're going to start off by pulling a card here from the Enchanted Map Oracle cards, and it's going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about this first month. You're going to be bringing in energies and experiences from your past, and they come to this culmination in this month, and the Creator, we're just going to see what the Creator wants you to know about what you do with all that during this first month. Kind of creates the map for your adventure that's coming up for these 6 months. So we'll give these a good shuffle. All right, Creator, what do our Pisces to know about their first month, please? What do you want them to know about their first month, please? Okay, that is the one that is calling out. Yep, and you got Heal the Ouch, number 38. And I love this card because a little raccoon helping out the little fox there, giving him the the little analysis when I'm doing the checkup. That's what I was trying to think of. Going through the little checkup, finding out what's hurting, and getting to the bottom of things, understanding where the pain is, and putting together a plan on how to heal, and how to not just look at the side effects or the symptoms, but what the cause is. And so this is a great month to look at this pain that you're having. And that's, I know it mentions in here about it's, spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, all that pain. It's about, looking into it during this period here and getting some information, getting to the root of things, and creating, a plan on how to deal with that. It says forgiveness is the healer of the soul. So it's a time for great soothing of the heart, body, soul, and mind, as this card indicates that healing will be prevalent in your life now. If you feel drawn to study the healing arts, you'll be successful in developing your natural capacity to restore others to wellness. However, the message may be that you're being called to change your behaviors in order to heal the earth. So perhaps you'll switch to a cruelty-free diet, eating less meat, or perhaps you'll pay more attention to how much water or electricity you use. You're asked to be conscious of your footprint on the sacred earth and all of life, and to commit to the healing path. The Heal the Ouch card may also be an indicator of old wounds and broken bonds being mended. Reconciliations are possible now, so let bygones be bygones. So yeah, it's a general reading, so there's several different areas it touches on there, and we'll get more clarification here as we pull more cards. But definitely a time of, like I mentioned, getting to the root of what's happening, not just looking at symptoms, and then creating a plan of treatment for going forward. And we're going to pull cards here from the Light Seers deck and just get additional information on this for your first month. Okay, I feel like that card wants to come out already, so we will allow it. You're breaking the rules. All right, Creator, what else would you like our Pisces to know about their journey, please? Okay, and those two. All right, anything else? Okay. Yep, Hanged Man. So definitely getting a high view picture, understanding the bigger picture, seeing things from a higher point of view. It can be delays too, hanging around, waiting for things to unfold, and that's okay. Answers will come, but it's really seeing things from this higher perspective. You see this wonderful bright energy around the head too. So it's seeing things from your higher self, from the viewpoint of our Creator, and outside of time and space, that gets to see the entire journey that we're on and understands why things happen and everything unfolds. So it's really connecting and seeing things. Reflecting back to see why things happen. You're like, oh, I see. All that happened for me to become aware of this. But this is also just seeing things from the spiritual perspective, being able to understand why it is you chose to go through what you have, realizing life is happening for you and not happening to you. This energy down here always reminds me of like the Wheel of Fortune, and in this particular deck, it has the Fool card too, where there's a swirl, and it's the choices we make to come down here to experience. So we choose our life experiences before we come down here, and we still have our free will on what story we're going to put behind whatever happens, and whether we're going to go extreme fear or extreme unconditional love or whatever in between. We still, with our own free will, get to determine what we do with all that, but we do choose to have all these events and situations happen to us. People come into our lives. We choose all that before we come down here. So that awareness comes through with this Hanged Man. Yep, and here's the Hierophant. So again, seeing things from a higher spiritual perspective, going up here and being able to see and understand beyond all the limitations that we're taught down here. It also means, the Hierophant is one, it's like, and I don't disorganize religion because it's such a part of our beautiful adventure, but it does try to define and put a box on how we express ourselves spiritually. And so that's something that you overcome with this seeing things from a higher perspective, because you learn things that you're like, well, that's not what I was taught, but it really resonates with me. Something comes down across your path and you're like, well, I really am interested in that, but I've been told that is not, what we're supposed to do. That's, that's of the devil, or, that, but the whole thing is that we look at, like even card readings, because I did grow up in the Christian faith, and we were taught that that's, demonic, and no, God condemns that. But as I evolved and I questioned things and things resonated with me, I'm like, you know what? It's like a knife. A knife can be used to cut vegetables, and to open things, and to even, cut someone's rope to set them free, or of course it can be used to kill someone. And so it's whoever's wielding the tool or whatever is what controls that. And because I know me personally that I connect to only the unconditional love and light of the Creator in messages that I give, I'm like, this is a tool of light, not a tool of darkness. And that's the kind of thing that you can change in your beliefs and your, these things that come to help you with this plan of treatment that you have coming forward. And here you go, the Two Pentacles. It's about balancing your physical human piece of you with your higher spiritual self. For me, this always represents this balance and understanding that there's two of you that live within you for this human experience, this character, this human ego, this kind of the animal side of us that lives in fight or flight mode, and then our higher self, which is the actor behind the character. This is eternal, this is temporary, this is unlimited, this is limited. And so, understanding that there's this cohesive bond, and that we don't need to destroy, our ego. And that's why I say I don't diss this Hierophant and this, society that creates all these conditions for us to, expectations to feel disappointment, and these restrictions we have on us spiritually, because we come here to feel what it might feel like to be small and constricted, because then we understand more of who we really are, this amazing, free, and unlimited being, right? So this is an important understanding, seeing things from both perspectives as you go through this. And here's the Knight of Cups, which really is about opening the space for love, allowing that unconditional love. The Knight is about action, and the Cups is about emotions. And so I really feel like with this love that's coming in, it's about putting it into action, putting that love, expressing love, and that is what does impact our bodies. It impacts all of us when we connect to that unconditional love that's inside of us, this higher power that we are. When we allow and have this more of this balance where we're not spending so much time in fear, but we have this balance of ebb and flow in between out into the storm and experiencing fear, but also coming back equally and experiencing unconditional love, that allows our body to really recuperate and heal itself. Because when we're in fight or flight mode, our body is shut down and it's not working at its highest potential. When we're sitting in love, then our body is at rest and peaceful, and then all the systems, start reactivating and doing its thing, which it's an amazing machine that is so self-healing. It is just amazing. It is. Then you have the Nine of Cups, wishes fulfilled, emotional fulfillment, feeling full, feeling whole, complete. Look at that bright burst from the heart center there. And so really experiencing and feeling the love. So I really think that this analysis that you do, and you really understand and see what is at the root of everything. every moment is a choice between the fear of losing conditional love or the feeling of unconditional love. And that is what takes us into that, that balance. It's that whole cycle that we go through. All right, and we're going to move on to the next 2 months. And for that, we're going to pull a card here from the Art of Manifestation Oracle cards. And this is going to represent what the Creator wants you to know about the following 2 months. So we'll see what it says here. But yeah, it's definitely, you're getting to the root. So I kind of feel intuitively it's going to be, about you're getting clarity, you're getting to the root, and you're beginning your treatment plan, whatever that may be. All right, Creator, what do you want Pisces to know about these next 2 months? Okay, we should get 2. So you've got persevere, so continuing to go and hanging in there and not giving up, and I'll let you see that and then I'll read it. So that says, who would have thought that a humble acorn could grow into a mighty oak tree? But of course, this takes time. Whatever you're involved in, this card brings a message of reassurance. Your hard work and continued effort and dedication will come to fruition. You're asked to persevere and trust. So kind of like I mentioned with the hangman, it's going to take time for things to unfold. Usually whatever happened to us didn't happen overnight. It would spend over time. So it takes a little bit of time. It's not going to take the same amount of time, but with the changes and the things that you're aware of and things that you start doing, it does start taking effect. It's just going to take time for it to grow. And then you have outcome, number 41. And I'll let you read that or see that. And then I'll read it. This card asks you not to be too attached to a specific outcome. In any new situation, the possibilities are open-ended. Anything might happen. Try not to prescribe a fixed outcome within your mind, as this may limit your ability to access the infinite scope of possibilities sent to guide you in the best possible direction. So yeah, this is the one right before this one too, 41 and 42. But yeah, so outcome, you can get attached to the end result, and that's when we get impatient. So I thought that might kind of come up with that is, when we think that this is what needs to happen within this certain amount of time, this is where we need to be, with all this, whatever pain that was, or that was emotional, physical, mental, it's like, give it time, release the outcome, enjoy the process and the journey, because when you reach that end, there's always going to be a new beginning into something else anyway. Our fear ego, because it's temporary, this character we play has an end date, a death scene that's in its future. So it tries to rush to get all the stuff done. But your real self, your higher self, your spiritual being, that powerful, supernatural, eternal spirit being made of unconditional love is eternal. So it has all the time in the world. It doesn't need to rush. And so when we connect to that, that's when we have that patience and that perseverance, and we can glide along more smoothly. But when we're in our fear mode, we definitely are all judging things by timing, and things need to happen now. All right, let's take a quick sip of water here. Thank you. And we're going to pull some everyday tarot here just to see what other messages the Creator has for you for these 2 months here. Validation, confirmation, or new information. All right, Creator, what else would you like our Pisces to know about these next 2 months? Okay. That and these, okay. Any others? Yes, I agree. That is enough, isn't it? Yep, so you have the Chariot. And there's kind of 2 messages with this. This is, of course, all about choices. Whatever we focus on grows, whether we focus on the white wolf or the dark wolf. In this case, the phoenix is, not the phoenix, is the, those Egyptian cat. My mind went totally blank, but you know what I mean. So, it's whatever we focus on is what grows, and that's our power of choice that we have. So that is one message here. The other one is that the Chariot is kind of a representation of our understanding our ego, and it's like the ending, when you're ready to move to the next phase. In the major arcana, there's like this story of the first line, which is like card 1 to 7, Chariot being number 7, is about our ego experience. We have the Hierophant and the Emperor and the Empress and these different things where we understand our humanness of living here. And then when we move to the next line, that becomes our awareness of connecting to our higher selves and our spiritual selves, realizing that there's two of us. So I really feel this is like a message of, yes, you're ready to move into that realm of understanding how you can have both your higher self and your human self helping lead your chariot, and you can control it and have them work together like this Two of Pentacles. Yep, and then you get the Nine of Cups again. So Nine of Cups, wishes fulfilled, feeling whole and complete. So that definitely, by your power of choice, you get to determine how you feel in each of those moments as things unfold and as things happen. So it's not what events are happening in your life that determine what it means to you. You get to determine what it means to you. Otherwise, everyone going through the same situation would react and feel the same way about it, but we don't. So it's not the situation that determines, but the person that's going through it determines what it means to them. And Three of Wands. So yeah, we're talking about this period of time is how you're planning your treatment. The Two of Wands is like getting from point A to B to C to D to D, it's looking at the grand plan. And the Three of Wands means you've made progress in the plan and you're ready to go into like step C. Literally there's a C there. You're ready to step into the next part of your adventure, next part of your treatment, the next part of your healing, the next part of, the revelations for you. Okay. And you have the King of Swords here. And so this is balancing your mind with your emotions. And the swords are all about your beliefs, your thoughts, and all of that. And sometimes we can get so caught up in, demanding all of our expectations be met. The King of Wands is toward the end. And so he's really balanced, and he has this wonderful, like kind of like the Two of Pentacles there, where it's balancing the thoughts with the emotions. And he's not so demanding here. He has hand outstretched, which means he's open to new ways, new thoughts, new beliefs, through these experiences. So you really are letting go of old beliefs and allowing new ones to come in, and forming new ones based on those experiences. Yeah, and you have Nine of Cups, and then you have the 10 of Cups, which is even more fulfillment. You're just overjoyed and you're overflowing with love. So this would be like the Nine of Cups is you're filling up on the inside, and the 10 of Cups is like you're so full, you're overflowing, and people are getting this overflowing of this love. And that makes total sense as we begin this healing journey of ourselves, especially if it's emotional healing. Our worth is restored because we find a new source of worth inside, a new stable source of love inside. Unconditional love from the Creator. It's unconditional. It's eternal. There's nothing you can do to lose it, nothing you can do to gain more of it. You have it all, and it's there. So when we define ourselves by that, we fill up and we feel whole and complete for the first time. The hunger is finally satisfied. Our thirst is finally quenched. The external love that was unstable, temporary, unpredictable, disappointing, that is what makes us sick. That's what causes our pain, both physical, mental, emotional. And so this experience that we're having and connecting to that is what is bringing this for you. And And then you had Knight of Cups here. You have Knight of Cups again. So you continue putting that love into action, which, like I mentioned, when it's overflowing outside of you, you're voicing it more. You're through your hands, you're acting it out. Social media, your posts change, your opinions change from ones of anger and defensiveness to openness. Like the king has this open hand, allowing people to be them, allowing them to be who they are, and live their lives. And you're focusing in on your own healing, your own expression of unconditional love to the world. You're not worried about what other people are doing, because you realize that's doesn't matter. You realize that you have everything you need inside you. Everything they're doing is just extra and usually dramatic. Yeah. And here you go, 10 of Pentacles. So yeah, definitely. It's called like the legacy cards. Not only do you have what you need physically, you have enough where it's impacting generations to come. And for me, this is like the tree of life, or like the family tree. So it also represents this amazing ability to cut, or like to break chains, like ancestral chains, that things that have been passed down from generation to generation to generation that have not been like the healthiest thing, the restricting things, whether it's, it can be some sort of physical pain, physical abuse, alcoholism, or some sort of addiction that you just learn from generation to generation, because no one knows any better. No one takes those steps for that healing, right? It can be mental, so certain types of beliefs, it can be, anything that's passed down from generation to generation. This is saying that you have the ability here to cut those ties, to cut and break those chains to where they don't continue on going forward in your ancestral line, as well as not just your bloodline, but other people that you're influencing and interacting with. This legacy is saying, like, yeah, the work that you do to heal this impacts not just you, but others and generations to come. So it's a beautiful message, not meant to freak you out, but it's just showing you the power you have and the impact that with you taking the time to understand this pain and creating a treatment plan for yourself, a treatment plan is what helps. We're going to look at the next 2 months. I'm going to pull a card here from the Energy Oracle cards. Let's see what the Creator wants you to know about those 2 months. And one more time. All right, Creator, what do you want our Pisces to know about the next 2 months, please? Okay. And you got the 5th chakra, which is Archangel Gabriel, number 39. And we will read and see what energy comes from this card for you. So for these 2 months, it's about self-expression and speaking your truth. So Gabriel holds a trumpet in one hand and a beautiful orb of blue light in the other. He's sending powerful energy to your throat center, acknowledging your power to communicate and your readiness to do so. This angel opens up to truthful expression both within yourself and others. And when I was talking here about expressing love, that's how we do it. We do it through our throat chakra, through our voice. And, the arms, when you hold them out, are to the side of the throat. So it's through our actions as well. So that's right in what we were talking about. You may have had trouble with expressing emotions and ideas in the past, but Gabriel is here to tell you that your soul longs to take this leap now. Be aware that true communication includes how you speak to yourself, so never deny your profound, integral value. Speak up for yourself. Write in your journal. Let your words flow. Now's the time to express yourself freely and fully, and the universe always honors your choice to do so. This card could also indicate that a communication project is coming, or a time of heightened communication with spirit and telepathy with others. And the affirmation for this card is, my throat chakra is open to its perfect, healthy state, spinning with the beautiful energy of freedom and self-empowerment. I am free to express myself in every way. Yep, so definitely putting love into action, both with your self-talk and how you communicate with others. It's just going to be a continuation of this beautiful energy. We're going to pull some more cards here from the Everyday Tarot, just see what else the Creator wants you to know about these next 2 months. All right, Creator, what else do you want our Pisces to know about the following 2 months? Okay, what else, please? Okay, anything else? Okay, those 3. All right, and last pass. Anything else, please? Okay, nope, none of those wanted to jump out, so we're going to take these. And we got the 7 of Pentacles, so yeah, definitely having patience. You're doing the work, you're making the progress. There's fruit is growing and coming on there, just hasn't not fully blossomed to the extent yet. There's things that you're not going to be able to pick yet. But so this is about continue to do the work, I always feel like it's like, chop the wood, carry the water, do the daily stuff, keep going, persevere, be patient. Things are unfolding. There's just a natural process of things. So again, patience, patience, patience. I know. And then you have the King of Wands. And so this represents your higher self. For me in this reading. So this is about connecting, like it mentions a little bit in here, about connect to your higher truths, your higher self, that powerful being that you really are. So, take that time. And I really feel like that's why things are kind of moving slowly, is because connecting to your higher self and seeing things, like from that higher perspective, like with that Hanged Man, is such an important piece of your journey for this point in your life to prepare you for all the new adventures that you'll be heading off into. And here's the 6 of Wands, which is, know that you're recognized, know that you're seen. You might even get some public recognition with. So some of you, it's a general reading, some of you are going to have a communication project, and that's going to cause you to get out in front of people, but you're going to get the recognition for that. And it's just like a job well done. But also, this is recognition from your posse of support on the other side, all those beings of unconditional love and light that are saying that we see the work you're doing, we're proud of you, keep going. You have, all these people, all these hands behind you giving you, they're actually literally a thumbs up, even though they're holding on to staffs, but they're giving you a thumbs up saying, great job, keep going, don't give up, keep going, just be patient. And the High Priestess here, especially above the King of Wands, she's the one that connects to your deep unconscious, your higher self, your intuition, your gut feeling, connection to the spirit world, seeing behind the veil. So continuing to expand that connection you have to the higher realms, to the higher self, to all those beings that we were talking about. Your angels and your guardian angels and your spirit guides, your loved ones who are on the other side, your ancestors, the Creator, of course, Holy Spirit or Spirit, whatever you believe in your higher self and your higher beings of, love and light. That's what it is there. And the 7 of Wands here is, you kind of feel like you have to defend your drive, the course that you're taking. You're going to have people that want to take, that are going to try to have you take on their energy, their suggestions, and they're like poking at your bubble. You're moving in this direction here, and you're making your choices. You have your treatment, but you're going to have all these individuals that could come in to, like I said, poke holes. Go, well, you should be doing that. You should be doing this. Or, no. Don't do that. Do this. This, that energy draining and the poking and the prodding. And you're in this bubble, feeling this love and connecting and making this progress. And, so don't let people with their opinions try to poke holes. You can do it lovingly. You're just like, you're okay. Okay, thank you for that information. Well, are you going to do what I said? Well, I'll think about it. But I'm making my choices, my decisions. So I thank you for your concern. Bye-bye. You don't have to do it. And then finally, and don't forget about this. This is the Death card, which is all about death and rebirth. You have this new, letting old things go, new things coming in. You're clearing away old things. So things are literally falling away out of your life so that you can make room for the new things and the new directions that you're headed. So this is definitely, it's a progress, card. Those things that no longer are good for you, you're making decisions to let them go. And that's what this whole journey kind of is, regardless if it's emotional, mental, physical, whatever. You're realizing those things that no longer serve you anymore, that you've learned from. It's served its purpose, so you're moving them from in the middle of your energy to the side into a storehouse that you get to look at later. But you're removing those things so that this flow, this King of Wands is this huge amount of unconditional love energy coming into your life, which just impacts every area of your life. And it allows you to see, those things that you're like, okay, like, I don't know why they had it. It's like, if eating a large, pizza every 3 days is not healthy for me, and you realize that, and you realize what your emotional attachment to that pizza was, and you're able to let it go because of this work that you've been doing, and you're choosing to love yourself in so many ways. So, and then we're going to pull one final card here. This is going to be for your final month, and that's like the culmination of where you've reached during that time. And as you move into your next adventure, because as I said, this life is just a life full of tons of adventures. We go from adventure to adventure to adventure, and even when we have our death scene of our ego here, this character we're playing, the actor behind this character continues on for eternity onto new adventures. So the adventure never stops. So we'll pull one card here from the Secret Language of Light and see what the final message is that the Creator has for you. All right, Creator, what else would you like our Pisces to know about this final month for this reading, please? Okay, thank you. That one is literally leaping out. You got Inward Revolution, number 42. Love that. It almost looks like a compass. And this is number 42, Persevere. So some synchronicities there. This is the way of your heart. You're always moving forward, even when you feel like you're going backward. Yay. Your path may seem to go up and down or inward and outward. The spiral is a symbol of your soul journey. It represents the cyclical adventure into your heart center. You will continually revisit aspects of your life to bring you to deeper understanding. Difficulties and challenges can command a greater focus as they help to build bigger and better dreams and desires. Each cycle of life is an important stepping stone that expands into the next. Your life will only feel authentic when you come to your own conclusions. An inward revolution will open you to the wisdom of your soul. It is a path we must all take to truly know and love ourselves. And from this place, we move outward back into the world, empowered with our soul's wisdom. You are worthy of all you desire, no matter where you are in your spiral. And these come with inspired reflections and actions, and I'll read them. Whatever resonates with you, you can input into your 6-month adventure here. Number 1 is walk a labyrinth as a conscious ritual for growth. Number 2, dance in spinning spirals just like the whirling dervishes whose dance is symbolic of the cosmic dance of the universe. Number 3, paint spirals, draw spirals, make spiral mosaics. Use any media or medium that appeals to you to create spirals, and imagine the controls of your mind loosening with each curve. And then they also offer journal work, so if you feel so inclined, it says draw or write about 3 emotional or physical patterns that you have repeated in your life. Then draw or write about something new you learned about yourself with each revolution. Beautiful. Cycles, yay! But what a beautiful 6-month adventure. So much healing comes to here in so many ways for you. And just know as you go through this 6-month adventure that every second of every day you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things. And I love you too. You enjoy your 6-month adventure, and we'll talk to you soon. You take care now.